Okay, so we're going to be looking at moving the C pattern. This is the C pattern. We're going to move it up one string to the fourth and down one string to the fifth. So the C pattern normally is S3, S3C. It's just C. That's your S3C. There's a lot of different ways to think about what you're playing, and that's interesting about guitar, is it's not what you're playing, it's how you're thinking about how are you playing it. There's so many different ways to play it. How are you thinking about it? Is it just a pattern? Are you doing it in string shapes? Are you doing it in individual notes? You know, how are you thinking about it? That's what's important. And not that you should always think about it the most difficult way, but you should always think about it the most helpful way. So string shapes wouldn't be bad for a three string. So we start with the C, fifth of C is G, fifth of G is D. Like that. Now, from there, we're going to go to S3AXL. We don't have to. From there, we can just go from D, fifth of D is A, fifth of A is E, string shape fifth of E is C. But that's the short pattern. We want to learn the long patterns. Alright? Well, we can move the short pattern up, but for now, the long pattern, as written up there in the corner here, it's going to be S3AXL, full S3AXL. But can I do that pentatonically? Yes. Starting with, here's how I'm going to think it. I'm going to start with a C pentatonic. I know that. I don't have to worry about what I'm playing. Then just do a pentatonic S3XL with a warp in the middle. Is the same as the short pattern and just adding a note. The long pattern gives you an extra note. So that's the pattern. Now we want to go to the fourth here. What do? Move pattern 1, the C box, up one string. Now we're going to, we could do it long or we could do it short. If we do it short, the next cage shape is used in long patterns. Okay. It becomes an E shape. Why? Because we're going to go 1, 4, 5. C-shaped root, E-shaped fourth, G-shaped fifth. Where's that E-shaped fourth? Root 4, 6. Where's that G-shaped fifth? G-shaped fifth, 5, 7, 2. This is in the short pattern. We can do it with the short pattern first because I'm more familiar with that. So if we take the regular C, I'm going to play it all in pentatonic now because the fourth and the fifth should be played pentatonically unless you want to get fancy and start mixing in the root scale with the fourth and the fifth. But for now, we're just going to do the pentatonic. Now we start that scale from the second string. Sorry. It became an E shape. So we know the bottom string of that's going to be the E-shaped bottom. And we also know that the bottom string of that's going to be the fourth of the C-shaped string shape. There it is. There's your E string shape right there, that diminished fourth. So now it's the E string shape. Now remember, the E string shape, 6, 7 root. Oh, that's G rather. that's the fifth of it. The fourth of the C string shape is below it. Okay, so it's going to be, like we talked about this earlier in the lesson, 7 root 2. So we're in the key of F now. If we're in the, not key of F, we're in the F chord, the fourth. So it's that. But we want to play pentatonically. All right. So the, so we're not going to play the seventh of that F. We're not going to play the seventh. We're not going to play the fourth. These are no-nos in the. We don't play. All right. So that's why we're going to play this thing that's shaped something more like the E-shaped pentatonic scale. Okay, now if we move, that's the fourth. So what we've done is we've gone from the first to the fourth. Now, if we take the first pattern and move it down one, the question is going to be, we're going to move that C pattern down one. Here you see we moved it up one. There's your C pattern. 3, 5, 6, root 2, 3, 5, 6, root 2. And then, of course, we lost the top string. But the bottom string was that E string that came in to fill its place. And remember, top and bottom string are going to be the same. So that'll help you when you're building into a new shape. You know, if you pushed it up, you know what the bottom string is because the top string is going to be the same. Now we're going down to get the G. So there's something else going on here. The fifth of the S1C is the S1G string shape, and that replaces the top string. So the S1G is going, and we're going to the G now, so that top string becomes a G shape, which is 6, 7 root. Right? But we're not going to play that seventh because it's pentatonic. It's just going to be a G-shaped pentatonic. By the way, it's the same thing on the bottom. So that's how that works. We move the pattern up. Now, it's too easy with short patterns. We know too much about it. You know, you've got this. And bottom line, you move this up here, but you fix the warp somehow, and you're going to end up with an E shape. You know, it's just something I can fudge. Now, when you move the C shape down, you're essentially going right onto that G shape there, aren't you? Sure you are. You just want to change fingers to get that top one, but you don't have to. You can go C shape, and then just bring it down to G shape. Lift off the C, unless you want to do a suspended fourth. Alright. So, the next cage shape from the S1G is the S1E. So when we move the pattern down, remember our original pattern had the 6, 7 root on the second string. We move it down, and the bottom string becomes the fifth of the original first string. Move it up, okay, and the bottom string becomes the fourth of the original first string. So it's easy. It's easy. The fourth is the fourth. The fifth becomes the fifth. Now if we're playing a long pattern, sure, this becomes a G pattern. Very similar to one if we do it pentatonically. So it becomes just an S2G with G and a D shape, and then into an S3XL, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and all that stuff. And an S1E on top. But the trick is just learn